Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Alrighty. Let me do this once. You're going to have to turn that down now.
Turn my phone off.
Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. 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 Okay. Okay. Alrighty. Get my pad out of my butthole. And then I'll go live. Let me go do this first. Alright. Oh, I didn't push go live, did I? Hold on. Okay. Alrighty, here we go. Here goes nothing. Alright, it's on here. Okay. Alright. I'm just trying to wait to see if this comes up. Let me, hold on a second. Okay, alright.
Hang it out in the garage?
Huh?
Hang it out in the garage?
Yeah, why?
Okay. Yeah, I want to get a tea
Okay.
later.
Alrighty. I think I'm coming up on to Facebook here in a minute. There we go. Okay, hello dear friends. So today we are going to be making a couple things. I was only going to make, because I had these hamburgers like I told you on Thursday that I want to use up. So I was only going to make the stuffing stuffed burgers and mashed potatoes with some gravy. But then Amanda brought over some crescent rolls and a chocolate, I never seen it before, Pillsbury chocolate roll that she got on BOGOs and wondered if I could do something with it. So I'm going to make something with that too. So let me get my hands washed. And we'll get started. Okay. Alrighty. So I'm going to start with the stuffing. Okay, so I'm going to show you the way I make an easy stuffing when I don't feel like getting all the bread out and stuff. Oh, and by the way, these are the burgers we're using, the Philly Gourmet beef burgers. They're really good. For some reason, I got like 3 boxes in my freezer somehow. Don't know how, but it's all good. So I'm going to use those instead of regular just ground beef. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with this, and I'm going to get a bowl. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. I think that's what yeah, that is it. I'm going to preheat my oven to 375. So I'm going to get an onion and some celery out for this stuffing. I'm just using a regular old boxed stuffing. The little GV brand, as I told you before, you know how I use the GV brand a lot. I'm just going to use that. I made this already with Kinders. I never made it with this GV brand, but we're going to try it. So I think I'm only going to use 3 stalks in this. Maybe I'll get a little one. I'll get a little one too. All right, I got to rinse these off. Okay. Alrighty, let me get this bowl and put them in there so I don't make a big mess, which for me, you know, is not impossible. Let me get out an onion too. All right, on the recipe, I put 1 small onion, but since I'm making 2 boxes, I think I'm going to have more than what I need for these stuffed burgers, but that's okay. The stuffing, I'll just make it up. So let me wash my hands again because I did pick something off the floor. All right. So, and I need my paper towels over here. This ain't working for me. I got this laptop right here now, so I got to be careful with that. So, alrighty. Okay. So, first of all, what I want to do is we're going to preheat the oven to 375. I'm going to, in this bowl, I'm going to whisk 2 eggs and some milk, 2 eggs and some broth. Let me cut this up real quick. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I usually I haven't made these burgers in a long time. So the other day I thought, you know what, that's something pretty simple. This is a very costly, it's a cheap meal for anybody that's on a budget. You know, you can make, I'm going to be making 6 of these stuffed patties with the stuffing, some mashed potatoes, some gravy. I'm going to be showing you how to make some gravy. And all of that cost me under $20. So even including the little bit of milk I use for the, well, I'm going to use it half and half. I know I normally use milk or the carnation milk, the canned milk, but I don't have a whole bunch of potatoes today, so I don't want to waste the milk. So I'm going to just use some half and half today. I'll just heat it up. So, like I said, this is about under $20. I am going to put a little bit of Kinder's, I usually put ranch in my mashed potatoes, but today I'm going to put a little bit of Parmesan garlic Kinder's seasoning in my mashed potatoes. I like to have a little bit of a flavor in the mashed potatoes. So, but like I said, you know, the potatoes were like, I think 5-pound bag was like $3.49. The burgers were like $9.90, say $10. This stuffing mix here was, I think a little over $1 a box. So that was like, say $2.25. So between the potatoes and the potatoes and the stuffing, it was like $6, and then the $10, that's 16. Then a little bit of celery and stuff, which you usually have, and you don't have to put this celery in. I just like to make mine taste more like a homemade. But I got to get this stuffing done because I got to let it sit a few minutes so it can collect all the moisture from the broth and stuff into the breadcrumbs, because I'm not cooking this stuffing because I'm going to be putting it in the oven as inside of these burgers. So normally I would, and I don't normally use this, I usually use Kinder's, but I don't have any Kinder stuffing, so I'm going to make it the same way I do that, but this is like the generic brand of the stovetop. So I'm going to let it sit for 10 minutes. And if I was making stuffing, I would put it in the oven then for like 25 to 30 minutes. But I'm going to be stuffing it into hamburgers. So, like I said, this is the first time I've used a stovetop kind of stuffing for this. But I don't know why it wouldn't work the same as Kinder's. I can't get Kinder's right now. I caught it over the holidays. And I should have got more boxes when they had it, because now my store doesn't carry it anymore. They just carried it over the holiday, so hopefully they get it in, because I know they brought it in a couple of times, because I know I bought like 6 or 8 boxes of it, because it was really, really good. So we're just going to doctor this up a little bit, and we're going to pray for the best. I hope this works out just like the Kinder's does, so we shall see. So I'm going to take some celery, as you would if you were making a regular stuffing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, I have a small pan right here that I'm going to use for, I'm going to use the same pan I would use for I'm going to use for my gravy. It's not going to hurt it none. And I'm going to take and I'm going to get these vegetables a little on the soft side. So that's why I'm trying to get this done real quick. All right. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Like I said, I was only going to make this, and then Amanda brought that other stuff over. So I figured, why not? I don't know why I just didn't put this right in the pan. But I thought, why not make a little dessert with it? So I'm going to try this. I'm hoping it works out. Let me move my burgers out the way for a minute. All right, so I'm going to take this pan and I'm going to put the celery in there. And I'm going to put my onion in there. And I'm going to put some butter in there to get it. I'm going to turn this on a while so that way it starts cooking while I cut the rest of this onion up. Okay, where's the rest of it? Right there. All right, let me get this cut up. I usually use regular hamburger for this when I make this. But like I said, I had these burgers I have to use up. So when I go to season it, it's going to be a little challenging, but I think I'll be able to do it. Because I usually put all the seasoning inside the burger and then mix it up. But since these are already patties, I might as well leave them as a patty. Because I'm going to take 2 hamburger patties and put this stuffing inside of it. Put it in the oven. I'm going to stick it in the oven and I'm going to move my knife back there so I don't cut myself. I'm going to stick it in the oven and have it come up to I'm going to have it bake up. So that's just my oven. That's all that is. So, all right. So I'm going to take some broth, which I'm going to take, I usually use 1 cup of broth per box, so I'm going to use 2 cups of broth. I'm going to use beef broth. If you're making chicken, you could use chicken broth. I mean, I use this normally for, like I said, at Christmas time and stuff, I use this recipe instead of, it's the same as if you're making homemade, it's just that you're using this stuffing mix. which just takes out a little bit of the getting the bread all crumbed up and everything. So let me get a spoon here. I'll just use this spatula right now for this. I got to put some egg in with that broth, and I'm going to get that to mix around. I need 4 eggs. So let me get that. Okay, I just want this to get a little bit on the soft side, like you would if you were making your stuffing mix. So, all right, let me put these eggs in with this broth, and then I'll get this. I'm gonna get this all ready, and then when it's time to add that celery and onions, I will be ready for it. I'm going to whisk these eggs in with this. And then I'm going to put I'm going to just put the regular stuffing mix in with this also, because I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. I would normally put it in an 8x8 pan or a 9x9 pan, but I'm not baking it. I am, but I'm not baking it by itself. So I'm going to melt some butter up. And there'll be a little bit of butter left in this. Let me turn this down here. I'm not used to using this burner, so. All right, let me get some butter out here. I'm going to take this butter and I'm going to melt it. I need 6 tablespoons. So. I'm just going to put it in this little measuring cup. I got new measuring cups that have the lines on it. I ordered them the other day. They finally came. All right, I'm just going to put that on for a minute, and I'm going to put a paper towel over it because the other day it spit out all over the place and it had my microwave filthy. So, and I don't want that. Okay. Let's do it that way. I am going to add my seasonings into this. Even though I am putting it in hamburger, I'm still going to put some poultry seasoning in it. That's about the only seasoning I'm using for the actual stuffing. I will be using other seasoning for the hamburger. I put down here 1 to 2 teaspoons, so. And that's per 1 box. What's this? Just a teaspoon? Yeah. This is my Kinder's poultry seasoning. I think I'm going to do 3 because I'm going to be putting some in. I'm going to put some in the hamburger too, to try to tie it all together. Okay, these are done. So I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to push my potatoes back a minute. All right, so now what I'm going to do is while that cools down a little bit and while this cools down a little bit, I am going to put I'm going to keep that because I might need it for another. I think I have to melt more butter. I'm going to put my my stuffing mix in here. Like I said, this is just a regular old GV stuffing mix. I'm just going to put it all in here. I'm going to mix it up. That way this can start actually I usually let it sit. You can let it sit longer than 10 minutes. I have already. Like if I was doing something, I have left it sit longer than 10 minutes. But you only really got to leave it sit 10 minutes. So let me get a little spoon here. I don't want that one. All right, let me mix this up. Like I said, I just want these breadcrumbs to soak into all that broth and those eggs so it gets soft. And then in a second here, I'm going to put in my butter and there will be extra broth in here for now because it has to soak through. So I'm going to put in my celery and onions in here. See, that had a little bit of extra butter in it too, so. And then I'm going to put my butter in here. And I'm going to mix that all up. And while I get my seasoning ready for the hamburgers, I'm going to let this soak all that juice in. And then I'm going to get these put in the oven, and then we'll make this little, I thought I'd make like this try to make this monkey bread stuff with this. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we are going to try it with this. Okay, let's leave that sit for a minute. Okay, so let me throw these out. I do not need them. Okay, so I'm going to, I figure for the seasonings, and I'm going to use a little, I'm going to use this. I'm going to put in some onion powder, garlic powder, some poultry seasoning, and some Worcestershire sauce. So, for 1 pound, I would use 1 teaspoon of each of these, but I am using more than 1 pound. So I think I'm going to do 3 of each because I got to put it on them, and then I'm going to have to put some on the outside of it too. That was my garlic powder. This is my onion powder. That's not very good. I know I have more onion powder right here. It is. Here's my onion powder. Okay, and then I'm going to take poultry seasoning. I put 1 teaspoon of that also. Right there it is. Okay, I'm going to mix this all together. I'll just use this spoon. I don't even know if this is going to be enough, but I'm going to try it. I might have to make more. You know what? I think I'm just going to make more a while because I have all these burgers and I want to make sure they're seasoned. I'm going to do 3 more of each. If I have to get rid of a little bit of it, so be it. But I'd rather have a little bit too much than not enough. So let's do it this way. 1, 2. I'm sorry, I have to keep on looking over here to make sure the YouTube and the Twitch is playing. I moved you all closer to me, my phone for Facebook, because the other day my daughter said that you weren't seeing the whole meal. So then I'm going to put in 6 tablespoons of this because I use 6 teaspoons of everything else. All I gotta do is find my tablespoon. I tried to be organized today for everybody. That's all right. I'll just use this blue one because this is, yeah, there's a tablespoon. Okay, let me move this out of here. Okay. I'm not gonna have enough in this jar. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Alrighty. 5, 6. Okay. So let me mix this up now. And then when I put this in the oven, because this goes in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes. As I put this in the oven, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my potatoes on while making this monkey bread stuff. So this is going to be like moist. So I'm just going to put a little bit on each. You know what? I don't even think I'll put it in the middle because I have poultry seasoning inside of that. We'll see how it goes here. Let me move my book back because it's going to get kind of messy. All right. All I did was take parchment paper to sit this out. I am going to use this basket to bake them in. It's my air fryer basket, but that's okay. I don't want this raw hamburger on mine. You know what? Let me do it this way. I'm going to change that up a little bit. Let me get some more, and I need to get my aluminum foil. I'm just going to use aluminum foil on my counter. I don't like that raw meat against my counter. I'll just take a piece of this and put it on the counter. All right. So now I'm going to take one of these patties. Usually I would make them. I'm going to spread it out a little bit more. This was sitting close to 10 minutes. You're supposed to try to put 3 tablespoons on this, so maybe I better get a tablespoon and do it the right way. 2 to 3 tablespoons. Like I said, we're going to have extra. I know we are. I don't want to put too much in there because I got to seal it. So, and then what I think I'll do is on the other piece of burger, I'm going to put a little bit of this on the inside, just enough to season it up a little bit. And then I got to seal this up. You got to make sure it's sealed really well if you can. I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to stick underneath of it, and I'm going to put aluminum foil on this. I'm going to put my burgers on top of this. Let me wash my hands real quick. I should have done that before I touched them burgers. Okay. The aluminum foil that you put on the pan, you want to make sure it has greased up. So whatever kind of grease you want to use, if you want to use spray or, because I'm going to put this on that fryer, my basket, when I'm done here. So, like I said, try to make sure these are all closed up. Then you want to put a little dent in the middle, so that way it doesn't, this doesn't get all, how do I want to say it? It doesn't get all puffy. So, these, I'm going to get my big, I know how I'm going to do this. This is hard to work with. I'm going to put it on there. Then I'll put it on here. And I'll take just a little bit more of this and stick it on the outside of this. I don't know I'm going to use that stuff. I think I'm just going to use a little bit of the, I think I'm going to just pour a little bit of this on it and just sprinkle a little bit of the seasonings over it. It's just easier. That's a little hard to do. I'm going to not use that. I'll wait till I'm done. How's that? Actually, it's seasoned on the inside anyway, so it doesn't matter. All right, so I need another burger. I left these burgers sit out to thaw out. So make it, and then take probably 2 of these in the middle there. I'm going to put a little bit of this on top of this. That'll work. Just a little bit inside there. Okay. Then I'm going to take another burger and put it on top. And I'm going to take and close it up. The best you can. Like I said, we're going to have extra filling anyways that I'm going to put into the oven. And then you just put it down there. And then when you get it on there, you can actually make sure it's better. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Okay, now I need another burger. Let me spray this. This spray's almost empty. I have more. All right. Do like that. Yeah, I should have probably only made 1 box of this, but that's okay. I like stuffing. I don't know if, I don't like stovetop stuffing, but I like stuffing. But like I said, I doctored this up, so hopefully it will definitely help out. Okay, then I'm going to take another one of these and I'm going to stick it on top. Get the seams all pushed down. I'm going to flip it on here. Put the little indentation in the middle of it. I'm only doing that so that way when it starts frying up, it doesn't, hopefully it doesn't open up. I'm trying to seal it the best I can. All right. I have to put spray on it so it doesn't stick when I go to take it off. Okay. So, yeah, 1 box of this would have been enough. Like I said, that's okay. I'll just make the stuffing up. I can get more potatoes. I used those potatoes. I got those potatoes. That's why I decided to make this. Because I got those potatoes for something else. And I didn't use them all. So, and I wanted to get them out of my refrigerator. So I figured I'd just do it that way. And make mashed potatoes so it's not a completely 5-pound bag. So I just want to make sure this stills. Okay. Let me get this. Okay. Then I need another one. I'm going to have 1 extra hamburger too. For some reason I had, oh, what am I doing? For some reason I had an odd amount of hamburgers. Don't ask me why. I used some out of the 1 box. And then I found 2 more whole boxes in there, which is a lot of hamburgers for us. So that's why I thought I'd do this. And I don't know if Amanda ever had it. I don't know if she ever had it when she was younger, if I made it then or not. And you just go like this. And then I'm going to flip it over onto here. Okay. I'm getting ready to do the last one, so yeah, I'm going to have to get a little, I'm going to have to get a little pan and put this in. I'll get that as soon as I get done here. I'll just make that up and have stuffing. Actually, you can eat it with on the side of this if you want. Okay. I decided I'm just going to do it all at one time after I get this done. Okay. Just want to try to make sure they're sealed as good as I can. Alrighty. I am going to put a bigger piece of aluminum foil on the outside of this basket because I don't want actually what I'll do is I'll just make a baby one. That'll work too. I'll just make a baby one. I usually make them in balls anyways, like hamburger balls, so I'll just do it that way. And then I'll flip this up around it. There you go. That'll work, and if it doesn't seal, that's okay. It doesn't matter. This is the way I normally make them. So I usually put the stuffing inside of it like that, but because I was making so many, I thought I would do it that way. Okay, let me get rid of this. Let me wash my hands, and let me grab some more aluminum foil for that. And then I'll go get a pan to put that in. I want to wipe up this counter. Okay. I might need that something else. I think I do need it. Let me get some of this vinegar stuff and get this counter wiped off because I don't know if any hamburger juice got on it or not, but I don't want anybody get sick, including myself. So let me wipe this all up. That's just vinegar and water. That's what I was told to use on it, so when we got this. All right, there we go. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take more aluminum foil because I don't want this leaking out. That's why I have that pan, that oven liner I use. But I'm going to put this down. I thought even though I'm not air frying these, I thought my air fryer basket would be the best way to put these on. Okay. And then I'm going to take and transport these over to this, like so. And then I can stick this little ball right there. Okay. That gets that all on my way. Now I have more room. Alrighty. Some of these are not sealed very well. I just hope they don't come apart. We shall find out. Let me get all this on it a while. Okay. Just a real little sprinkle of, not a lot. I don't even think I need any of this, to be honest with you. Maybe I'll just put some salt and pepper on top of it. I think that'll be okay if I just put salt and pepper on top of it. That's what we're going with. Just some salt and pepper. And that little bit of W sauce I put in there. Okay. Like I said, we're going to put this in for about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to stick it on here because I don't think it'll fry out, but I don't want to get all over my oven either. I don't want the same thing we had the other day when the smoke detector kept on going off. But I think I will turn my exhaust fan on a little low just to make sure. Okay. There's that. Okay. So that's in the oven for about a half an hour. I'm just going to turn that down on low for a little bit. All right, let me get another pan. I have to go in the front closet and get it. So, and then I'll put this stuff in there. All right, make sure you spray your pan really well too before you put that in. Me and Steve both like stuffing, so. Alrighty. So now I'm just going to put this in here. I'm going to cover it with some aluminum foil and I'm going to bake it for around the same amount of time I'm baking the others, so it'll stay in for the same amount of time pretty much. Alrighty, there you go. Give me some aluminum foil. Let me cover it. Okay. Alrighty, halfway through, I will flip that. So about 4:15, I will flip that. All right, so now I'm going to turn on these potatoes because they take a little bit of time to get done also. I'm going to get this ready for the monkey bread, and this you got to really spray really good too. Just don't spray it over in the middle because that's what I did the other day when the smoke alarm kept on going off. Okay, so if I got this right, I should be able to take, we're going to see, like I said, I never made this, I never used these before, but I should be able to take these 3 items, one chocolate, she got a chocolate roll here. Where's it at? I wrote it all down because I get mixed up so fast. Okay, that's my brown gravy. I'll need that next. Right here it is. Okay, so I'm going to take these 3 things and I'm going to cut them up. I'm going to take a stick of butter and melt it. And this was just had butter in it, so I'm just going to put it right back in here because I had only all that had to in it was butter. Okay. I'm going to melt this stick of butter. Let me get some water in that. Wow. Okay. Let me put it in here for a minute. Somebody asked me one day why I use a paper towel to turn this on, because I hate fingerprints all over my microwave. And that refrigerator, that gets fingerprinted all the time. I always washing it off. I should have got just a regular old stove and refrigerator. Live and learn, right? They're pretty, but much work as I do. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bowl. I think I'll put it in. I'll put it in this big bowl because I don't need this big bowl. I'm going to take a bowl and I'm going to cut all these up. Let me get out another. Like I said, I got 2 crescent rolls here. I got 2 crescent rolls and a chocolate, some kind of chocolate roll, which I've never seen the chocolate rolls. Like I said, Amanda brought them over and said she didn't want to throw them out. And they were BOGOs for her. And I guess they didn't really care for the chocolate rolls too much. But hopefully they like it better this way because they're getting some of it back today. So, okay. So, I'm just going to use one of these. All right, so I'm going to take these and I'm going to cut them all up into little squares, just like you would when you're making that monkey bread stuff. I don't even really ever know that I ever baked crescent rolls before. I baked regular rolls, but I don't know about crescent rolls. All right, let me get a different knife. All right. So I'm just going to take and cut them into, like, I don't know, quarters maybe. Halves maybe. Halves might be okay. I mean, these things are, I don't know. We're going to do it and see how it comes out. God help us. I've seen them do this one. I never made monkey bread, so I've seen them do this on Facebook. Not this kind, but I mean with regular rolls. And then they cut it in 4s or halves or quarters, whatever you want to call it. I think halves would be a little bit too much for this. And like I said, these are actually crescent rolls, so, and let me get these out. Thank God I ain't making them like this or falling apart. Then I'm going to make a chocolate glaze for on this. So I'll use that little bit of chocolate icing stuff that's in here. Here's a thing of chocolate, some kind of chocolate icing, but I'm also making my own, so. All right, let me make these in 4s. Maybe I should do them in 2s and these in 4s. I guess. Let me pull them apart a little bit. Okay. Yuck. I never even knew they had chocolate rolls out. Imagine that. Okay. Then I'm going to take, I'm just going to cut them because they're hard to. Then I'm going to take this butter. I'm going to take a little bit of cinnamon, some brown sugar, and I'm going to put that over it. But as I'm doing it, I'm going to attempt, and I said attempt very loosely, to put some, well, maybe this is an easier way to do it. There you go. I'm going to attempt to put some chocolate syrup in it as I'm mixing that around, a little bit of chocolate syrup. I have some, that Ghirardelli, however you say it, chocolate syrup in there that I got for something else. So we don't use that much chocolate syrup. So I would put this on 375 for 25 to 30 minutes, but since I'm putting it in with that stuff, I'm going to leave it in because it's on, 350. Since I'm putting it in with that stuff, I think I'll do 375, 20 minutes or so, because it's on 375 instead of 350. So, all right, that stuff is messy. Lord. There's another knife I don't want to get cut with. All right. Let me move these knives over here. Okay. So now I got my butter. Into my butter, I'm going to put three-quarters of a cup of this brown sugar. And I got the three-quarter cup out here. I know I do. Like I said, I tried to be a little bit more prepared today. Don't matter if it's a little bit more than that, it's just going to be a little sweeter, that's all. That'll be good. But I should put it in with this butter. I'm just going to mix it in with that. I'll mix the cinnamon in with the butter. So I'm going to take, what did I write down? About 3 teaspoons of this. I'm going to take about 3 teaspoons of this cinnamon. I'll put that in with that. And mix that up. Then I'm going to put this into this. Wow, I'm trying. If I can find it, there it is. While I'm trying to pour a little bit of this in there. I'm going to take this lid off because, like I said, my hands are not the best. This is going to be all horrible. I don't know why this is so thick. What is going on with this stuff? Isn't chocolate syrup supposed to be thin? Lord. I have arthritis though too, so. Maybe that's not going to work. I know what I'll do because I don't give up. I never give up. That's one thing I don't do is give up. Okay, let me use that much for now. Let me try that much. I try to teach the girls don't ever give up. All right. I'll try that much for now. I'll just stick it in there. All right. So then I'm going to put this butter in here and mix this all up. Okay. Like so. Trying to get that chocolate syrup and stuff the whole way through it all. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to take it and put it in this. Let me take and trying to make sure it's all incorporated in there. Okay. See, there's some in there that don't have it, but I have some in the bottom of this bowl. So I'll just put it in there. Like I said, I never made this monkey bread before. I just seen people make it. I've never personally made it. All right, let's try it like that, I guess. Let me wash my hand off. All right. My potatoes are boiling. That's good. So far, these things did not open up. That's good too. Okay. I'm going to try to get a little bit of this chocolate syrup out. Oh, here it comes, I think. Yeah, here it comes. Slowly but surely. I just want a little bit in there. Maybe this stuff shouldn't be refrigerated. I don't know. I really don't buy this. All right, let's try it like that. Get a little bit out here. All right. Just trying to get it so it goes down into the side maybe. All righty. Let's try it like that for now. There's none over here though. I'm sorry, I like chocolate in it. Not that I'm going to eat it. I mean, I'm going to try it, but I'm not going to eat all this. Okay. Lord. Like I said, if anybody knows if you're not supposed to refrigerate this stuff, let me know, or else it's just my arthritis acting up. But shouldn't be that hard to do. I don't think it was that hard when I did it the first time. I've always just put it in the in the refrigerator. Let me get this in here. Okay, good. All right. So, I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. Like I said, we're going to put this in here for about 20 minutes. I mean, in the oven, not the refrigerator. I'm going to flip these burgers if I can. I'm going to attempt to. They're pretty big. Yeah, that's why I did this like this. Yeah. I don't know about flipping these though. Yeah. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. It's going to stay like that. I'm not going to flip them because they're going to fall apart. Okay. So I don't need this or that anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to get ready to start my gravy here. So with my gravy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stick of butter. I'm going to put that little bit in with it. It ain't going to hurt it none. I go through a lot of butter. I'm going to turn that on. And then I'm going to use 3 cups of 3 tablespoons of flour per 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm actually going to put about 6 or 7 tablespoons of this in because I have a little bit more than, let me get a tablespoon. Actually, I'm just going to use one of my, like I do it here. I'm just going to use this. All right. I'm going to put this, I need 4 cups of this, and this is 32 ounces, and that has very little in it. That one there. So that would be 4 cups right there. And like I said, this has very little in it, so I'm just going to add it to it. Plus I have a little bit of extra flour and butter in there anyway, so. And I'm going to stick this in the microwave just for a minute to warm it up a little bit. That ain't the right one. I just want to get it a little bit warm. I don't want it hot. I just want it a tad warm. All right, I got to take this out for the moment. All right. I'm just going to put it in for a minute. All right, so I'm going to take 6 tablespoons of flour, and I'm going to put it in here. And I'm going to get my I'm going to use my there's 2. There's 3. I should have measured this out earlier. 4, 5. These are actually heavy spoons, so I am only going to use 6 because they are very heavy spoons. Not heavy spoon, but I mean I put a lot on the spoon itself. So then I'm going to stir this around for about 2 minutes or so I can get that flour taste out of it. Yeah, there's a lot of, that'll be good for that. I think I'll be good. I'm going to take just a little bit of this, I have this bouillon. I'm going to put a little bit of that in there. Just give me 1 more tablespoon of this flour. Let me get another tablespoon of this flour in here, because I have an awful lot of broth there. Okay. When it starts turning golden brown, you know that it's pretty much done. So now I'm going to slowly try to pour this in there without getting it all over the place. See if I can do it. Very slowly. This is thick. All right, let me mix this up a little bit, and then I'll put more in. Probably should have used a bigger pot, but that's okay. All right, let me get more in there. I do miss my old stove only because this one here, everything slides around on it when you're not holding it. Okay. I will taste this and to make sure it don't taste like flour. I think we'll be okay, but I will taste it, like I said. Now I gotta let that go till that thickens up a little. I gotta get these potatoes, I think they're ready, out of here. They are. All right. I'm going to move all this. I gotta bring this in here. Alrighty. And I'm going to take and drain this, but I'm going to take my colander, I'll put it in this little bowl so it doesn't go all over the place. Okay, where's my... I guess you got to watch my gravy here. All right. Let me get this out. Okay. So, I'm going to pull this over to the big burner. Makes it better. Plus I can see it while I'm doing this. Alrighty. So I'm going to take some of this Kinder's garlic parmesan and put in there. And I'm not going to use ranch today. I'm just going to use some of this instead. And like I said, I'm going to use half and half instead of canned milk because I don't need a whole bunch of it. I don't have a whole bunch of potatoes and I don't want to waste a can of milk. So I'm going to put this in the microwave for just a couple seconds. Just enough to get the chill off of it. Like 30 seconds. And if I need more, I can get more. This is thickening up right here. I think the burgers are done. Okay. Let me get a spoon and see how thick this is and make sure this don't taste like flour. Oh yeah. No, you can taste the gravy. You can taste the beef broth. Okay. I'm going to take and put my potatoes in here. Put a little bit of salt and pepper in this. A little bit of pepper. I'm going to put a little bit more of this. I think I'm going to use the rest of this actually. There's not much in there. I'm just going to use the rest of that and get rid of it. All right, I'm going to turn this down and turn this on, so it might be hard to hear me. This got really thick, so it thickened up good. Take my creamer out of there. I think this is ready. All right, get a spatula. Oh, a potato. All right, I got to get these burgers out of here. Pull that out. All right, I'm going to put this monkey bread on the top. I'm going to take the cap off that filling, and I'm going to take a spatula and mix this up a little bit, and I'm going to put my milk in it. I never used this garlic parmesan seasoning before in here. I always used to use ranch or regular garlic, but I thought it would be a different. I don't like real thin potatoes. So I didn't even need all that creamer. Okay, I'm going to put a touch of Worcestershire sauce in this and a hint of this poultry seasoning in here. I'm going to mix that up, and then I'll taste it again to make sure I didn't mess it up. All right. That's pretty good. All righty, this is done. Okay, let me get this off of here. Let me move this back so we have some room. Lord. All right. First of all, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull this filling out. Pretty sure it's done. Okay. I'm just going to stick it on top of this cutting board. It's not going to hurt it. All right. Let's move all this out the way. So when I plate this up, and as I did before, I will come back and show you the monkey bread. I got to leave that in there for about 20 minutes. So not much longer for that. All right, I have to make a chocolate glaze yet for that monkey bread. Let me put this over here. So I got a little pot here. All right, so in this little pot, I am going to stick, I got so many papers here. I am going to stick some chocolate bark, some Hershey's cocoa, two tablespoons of Hershey's cocoa. I'm going to put a tablespoon of butter in here. I'm just going to use this soft butter. You know what? I think I'm going to put this in. No, I'm going to put it in now. That'll just make it silky looking. Okay. Then I'm going to take some heavy cream. About 3 tablespoons. Of heavy cream. I got the tablespoon in my hand. I will leave the cream out in case I need it again. Because if this gets too thick, I'm going to have to add a little bit more. Then I'm going to mix all this up till it melts. That stuff in the oven smells good. I'm going to turn this off. And I'm going to leave it sitting there for a couple minutes. I'm going to get a whisk. As soon as I get this melted down and done, I will definitely plate up the food. I'm just going to use the little hamburger ball right now because it's not time for us to eat yet. So I'll plate that up. Now, when this is done, you have to try it. I do have a piece of almond bark. You can use semi-sweet chocolate chips or almond bark, but because I put cocoa powder in here, you might have to add a little bit of sugar to it. Just so you know. So this is almost melted. I didn't have any semi-sweet chocolate chips or I would have used that, but because they melt faster. But unfortunately I didn't have any. You want this so it just drizzles down over that monkey bread. I'm going to turn this off now. I'm going to put a touch of vanilla in there. Okay. All right, this is all melted. So I'm going to bring out my monkey bread. I need this. There is the monkey bread. I gotta let that sit a couple minutes. Okay, let me get this others plated up. Let me move this over here. All right. right, so let me get a spoon. I'm not going to put a lot on here anyways. All right. Put some potatoes on here. I'm just going to do a mini version. I'm going to take a little bit of filling. Actually, I want to try that filling because I never made it with the stovetop. Like I said, this is normally the way I make them, the way I have it on this plate. And I probably will make them like that the next time because I don't like them in the patties too much. They're so much easier to do with balls. All right. And here we go. There's what it looks like. Let me get a fork. Like I said, I want to try this filling. This was made with the GV stovetops. Actually, it's good. Tastes like homemade filling. This here has very little. I didn't put very much. Right there, you can see it. There's stuffing in there. That's good. That's really good. Okay. Going to get this monkey bread now, and I'm going to flip it. I can't cut it yet, though. But I have to flip it. And then I'll put the I use this because it's easier to, oh, look at that. Actually, I don't even need that. I don't even need that with that chocolate syrup. Went right down through. Look at that. That looks amazing. You know what? I got to get a fork and try a little piece. I have to. I'll take it off the outside so it doesn't collapse. That's really good. That's really good. You can taste the cinnamon. You can taste the... You can taste the cinnamon. You can taste the chocolate. You can taste everything. That's good. All right. So there you have it. I will post these for you then. So we have the rich chocolate glaze, which I don't need to use, but it's a semi-sweet chocolate or milk chocolate, 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder, 2 to 3 tablespoons of heavy cream, or half and half. 1 tablespoon of butter is an option. It just makes it silkier. 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar, if it's not sweet enough, and a tiny splash of vanilla. You just put it all, don't put the sugar in it, but just put everything else. Sugar and vanilla stays out till last. Put everything else in the pot. Keep on mixing it until it gets melted and smooth. If it's too tight, you can always go ahead and put a little bit more heavy cream or half and half in it. And then when you bring it off, try it. If it's not sweet enough, well, put your vanilla in, and then if it's not sweet enough, put your put some sugar in it. The classic brown gravy was 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of beef broth warm, or your choice of whatever broth you want. I used beef because I was doing this. Half teaspoon of poultry seasoning, a teaspoon of bouillon powder or 1 cube, a tablespoon of Worcestershire, and salt and pepper. You melt the butter in the saucepan, you whisk in the flour, you let it go 2 to 3 minutes till it's golden brown. Then you slowly whisk in the warm broth, add Worcestershire sauce and poultry seasoning, and simmer 3 to 5 minutes until thickened. The stuffing burgers, next time I will make the balls again. You take a pound of ground burger, you take a teaspoon of salt, garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of poultry seasoning, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire. And the next time I'll put it all in together with the meat and mix it up. And then what you do is you get it all mixed up, you lay it out, put some of your filling inside of it, roll it up like a ball, like that one I just did, and make sure you get enough that you can get more stuffing in than I did, because that one didn't have much stuffing in it. Or else you can use the patty way. You can use the frozen patties. You can do the same way I did. Put a dent in it so they don't puff up, and you put it in for about 25 to 30 minutes. Make sure you line a baking dish with foil and lightly grease it so they don't stick. Okay, the simple way to make your stuffing: take a box of stuffing mix. I use GV. 1 to 2 stalks of celery, 1 small onion, a cup of chicken broth. I use beef because I was using it for this. 1 to 2 teaspoons of poultry seasoning, 2 large eggs, and 3 tablespoons of butter. So I melted the butter, but in a large bowl I started out with the broth and the eggs. I whisked it down until they were well combined, and then I add the stuffing mix and the melted butter so it gently combined it. I put in my onions and celery inside of it, and after I put the onions and celery on the stove to get them a little bit soft, and then I put it in, and then I put them inside the meat. But the others I did put it right in the oven, and right there it is. See, it looks just like homemade, and it actually tastes really good, believe it or not. Like I said, I've never used this GV brand or stovetop doing it this way. I only ever use Kinder's, so I would actually get this again because it's a lot cheaper. Then the chocolate crescent monkey bread. I took 2 cans of Pillsbury butter flake crescents and 1 can of Pillsbury flaky chocolate rolls. I chopped all that up. I took a stick of butter and melted it. I put the brown sugar and cinnamon. Should go in the milk. My brown sugar I put right on top. It didn't matter. And then as I was doing it, you should try to pour a little bit of chocolate glaze. I mean, it worked because I got my chocolate glaze, but put some chocolate syrup drizzled over it. You don't have to use the chocolate syrup. Preheat the oven to 350. Pret the dough. Put it in, coat it in butter mixture with the brown sugar and cinnamon. Toss it all in there. Then put it in your pan. While you're tossing it, like I said, you can put some chocolate syrup in. I couldn't get mine out. You grease a bunt pan very well. Layer the dough pieces in there. Bake it for 25 to 30 minutes or until golden brown. And then that's it. I went over everything. Like I said, I will post these on my recipe cards. I know how to do that now, so I will post these. Just want to thank everybody for visiting with me today. I do work tomorrow, but I will be back Monday. Don't know what I'm going to make yet, but I hope everybody has a good day. Stay blessed, and remember, you are loved. Come on. Why is this saying slow connection? Is that 100%?